surprised. We're in November now and it's still kind of hot. I'm getting tired of this heat. Uh, Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to say call on Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakakwadash. Giving all praises to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, the God of gods. There is no God above him. Much love to his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. Much love to Yahweh Shai, whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, and calls him all the names that have no power. Much love for the beautiful chosen children among Israel, and the beautiful chosen children among Israel, and shout out to the beautiful the Akim, the prophets. They might not be from a camp. They do things on their own, and they do everything in their power to show you how about Shem Yahushua that they love him and they fear him. And much love to the beautiful Akwap, the beautiful women that's in the Word. And whether you got a man or not, you still fear the law, statutes, and commandments of the Bible, of Yahweh, and you listen and you learn in silence. Coming back at you with another part 2 of the system, part 2. And there's a lot of stuff that's been happening lately, and I hear a lot of talk about the beast system, in Revelation 2 being like more active, and I'm gonna get some locations right now to where there's a couple of places where it's cashless societies right now. Like a lot of places aren't using a lot of money, so because of this system, this beast system that's being set up, and it's been in the making for it's been here, but it hasn't been worldwidely distributed, like everybody ain't got it yet, type of situation. So it's been here. Rumor has it, it's been here since the 80s. It's even before then. They been having this type of technology, but they just wondering how they gonna approach the populace with it. But it's been here, and I'm hearing all kinds of stories about people already having it. So let me go ahead and grab this real quick. Because the prophet, King Yahweh Maccabees, he was talking about it. And it's just scary how close it is. It's scary. It's a lot to think about. Whew, give me a moment. Shit, dropped my tablet. Something in the air. Okay, so the AI, he got it, or it got it. Damn. No, this is not it. It says no country is completely cashless. It says, but several are approaching it, with Sweden leading the way due to its widespread digital payment adoption. And that's that digital ID. That's the beast system. It says, and acceptance. It says other countries that are among the closest to becoming cashless include China, which they already are. I heard they got the hand scan, and then they got the facial recognition, face scan. And it says Norway, the Netherlands, Finland, and the United Kingdom. So they already are on their way to becoming a cashless society. So we go to digital ID real quick. And it says many countries, for the digital ID, it says many countries have launched digital ID systems, including Singapore, SingPass, India, it says Aadhaar, Sweden, which has Bank ID, in Estonia, and Canada. It says other nations with digital initiatives include Germany, Belgium, France, the Netherlands, the UK, and many in the European Union. So you got to understand how close the B system is getting. It's actually pretty close if it's in Canada, and they already using the digital IDs in Canada. But and the digital ID, either they using it on their phones already, or they probably got the what already. They already got it. So we'll get to that. Because this is what Yahweh was warning us about. And it's crazy because the time is so extremely short. And like Yahweh Shem Yahushua said, he gonna come as a thief in the night. It's just something that's just gonna happen. But for those of us that know the word, and we know and we know the truth of what's happening, we not gonna be caught off guard by this, but we see it coming. So it's a lot of people that say that Yahweh don't exist, or God don't exist in general, and pretty much the people that run this world, they believe that there's a God, and they doing everything against him. So it's kind of hard to say that when everything that the Bible is saying is coming to pass. What is this? Oh, damn ad. It's kind of hot today. Oh, that's a good one too. Wait, because this is what's going to happen after these elites do all of this and all of this damage and create all of this chaos and mayhem. That everybody is going to pursue these elites. Everybody's going to pursue, the white man and his children. They all going to come after them, especially prior to the collapse, and all the money leaving and all that. A lot of these lower level white people, they ended up in battle with the blacks and the Mexicans and the Indians. They gonna end up in battle with all these people. And all the elites is going to do is go underground and control everything from underground. If not, then they already doing that. So it says, I got to wait till it load up. This should be taking forever. All right, give me a better tablet, something more high tech. But, there's your proof right there, that these cashless societies do exist. And rumor has it they running on 10% of money, but they urging people to keep cash on hand. And at the same time, as these cashless societies and these rules are made mandatory to get rid of the dollar, they still got people fighting back on it. But, regardless of them fighting back, it doesn't really matter. All of this is going to take place and happen anyway. So we're going to read this story real quick about Cain and Abel, because this has got a lot to do with Esau and Jacob. It says, and Adam knew his wife Eve, and she conceived and bare Cain. This is Genesis chapter 4, verse 1. And she said, I have begotten a man of the Lord. So Cain came first. And she began to bear his brother Abel. It says, and Abel was the keeper of the sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. So now one was meant to own the world. One was meant to rule and have power, and then another one was meant to destroy everything and to carry this evil spirit. So now this the one in the story that got the evil spirit is Cain. He got the spirit of the serpent people, because it's not just a bunch of it's not just a snake, it's a bunch of people. So he got the spirit, they wicked spirit of them when they was in the garden. So he got that evil spirit, that contrast spirit that go against the Lord. So it says, so and in the process of it, it came to pass that Cain brought the fruit of the ground an offering to Yahweh, and Abel he also brought of the firstlings of his flock and of the fat thereof. And Yahweh had respect unto Abel and his offering, because his offering was all that he had. He brought everything. He brought the best of what he had too. And the Lord is just testing him, at all the times he just testing him. It says, but unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect. It says, and Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell. So he got angry with Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, because the Lord had denied his offering, because his offering was a bunch of old fruit. It wasn't the best of what he had, and he was keeping the best for himself, and he was giving Yahweh little to nothing. And Yahweh was fair. He was fair with him. It says, and Yahweh said unto Cain, why art thou wroth, and why is thy countenance fallen? It says, if thou doest well, thou shalt not be accepted. He was going to accept him. It says, and if thou does not well, sin lieth at the door, and unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. So he knew what Cain was thinking already, and during that time when that offering was made, and Abel's offering was made, and it was better, he actually turned his anger towards Abel. So Yahweh had already knew that Abel was in danger. But this is all a test. Remember, he was trying to give him a chance. And he says, and Cain talked with his brother Abel, and it came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against his brother and killed him. So this is Esau and Jacob as Cain and Abel in reincarnation. So Cain had killed his brother in an argument, and then got into a fight and killed him. It says, and Yahweh said unto Cain, where is thy brother Abel? And he said, I know not, am I my brother's keeper? It says, and he said, what hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. And now art thou cursed from the earth, which has opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood. It says, when thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond thou shalt be on the earth. That's exactly, because a lot of these precepts is for the end time too. A lot of these precepts is for the end time too. It says, behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth. It says, and from thy face shall I be hid, and I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth, and it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall kill me. It says, and Yahweh said unto him, therefore whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And Yahweh set a mark upon Cain, lest anyone finding him should kill him. So he removed the mark that he put on him, was the removal of his melanin. It says, and Cain went out from the presence of Yahweh and dwelt in the land of Nod on the east of Eden. So that's exactly what's going to happen. Everybody is going to target this man or these people, and it's going to be a bad day. You ain't going. I'm trying to tell you, you ain't going to want to be no Edomite when this collapse come to play, because they will be hunted like the fugitives that they are. They are fugitives. They are vagabonds, and it's sad, whether they be bad or good. No, whether they be good and they do feel for the Israelites, they still gonna be hunted, because the people the people is not gonna take it no more. Yahweh not gonna take it no more. He gonna want them all rounded up. He gonna want them put this, put down. So we can go to Revelation. Get this shit out the way. Why does it keep showing me these stupid ads? Sorry, I done cussed, and these ads are so irritating. They everywhere. What is this? Yes, get there. They named this shit hella wrong. Oh, Salakia, sorry. We can go there. That's interesting. Sorry, I'm trying to watch my words. Okay, and this is what's going to happen. Like the prophet said, this is what's going to happen when these people that got the mark, this is their fate, along with the elites. It says, I went back, it's tripping. Come on. And this is Revelation chapter 15, verse 1. This is why you're going to need the protection of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Oh my goodness. I can go to it on my own. This is ridiculous. Revelation chapter 15, verse 1. Oh my, stomach hurt. This thing is tripping, bro. I hate this app. No, get out of this app. It shouldn't even be showing me all that crap. It's because this tablet is so low tech. Yes. Come on. And it says, this is chapter 15, verse 1 of Revelations. It says, and I saw another great and marvelous sign in heaven, the 7 angels with the 7 final plagues. You got to understand how bad Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua is going to put an assault on America and the world. It says with the wrath of Yahweh is completed. That's how heavy it's gonna be for America. That's how bad it's gonna be for the world. And I saw something like a sea of glass mixed with fire, besides which stood those who had conquered the beast and its image and the number of its name. They were holding harps from Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, and them harps can represent the Bible too, because this is the good music that the people that's in the word are hearing. So that is the when you don't get the mark. When you don't get the mark, it's either two things that can happen. Either you accept your judgment, or 9 times out of 10, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua will save you. 9 times out of 10, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua will rescue, especially when you know the true name of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, especially when you know his name. It says, man, you moved too fast. I didn't even get a chance to say anything. Hey, all right. And it's too loud. It says, in the number of its name, they were holding harps from Yahweh, and they sang the songs of Yahweh's servant Moses and the Lamb. It says, great and wonderful are your works, O Yahweh Almighty. Just and true are your ways, O kings of the nations, who will not fear you, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, and glorify your name. It says, for you are holy. All nations will come and worship before you, for your righteous acts have been revealed. Oh my goodness, this is killing me. This crappy truck. Hold on, let this truck pass, bro. It's really killing me. It's irritating. Well, I could keep going, I guess, as long as... irritating. And this is, it says, and after this I looked, and the temple of the tabernacle of the testimony was open in heaven, and out of the temple came the 7 angels with the 7 plagues. So this is what's going to happen to these people that worship the beast system. It says, dressed in clean and bright in linen, and girded with golden sashes and around their chests. It says, then one of the 4 living creatures that gave 7 angels 7 golden bowls full of Yahweh's wrath, who lives forever and ever. And that live forever ever means he's immortal and he can't be stopped. It just can't, it won't stop. And the temple was filled with the smoke from the glory of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua and from his power, and no one could enter the temple until the 7 plagues of the 7 angels were completed. Come on, close that shit. Sorry. This is how bad it's going to be. This is why I do not want to be here on the nuclear day. I do not want to be here during these times and during these events, because y'all not understanding that it's going to get heavier and heavier. The judgment is going to come harder and harder. It's going to get heavier and heavier. So it says the first 6 bowls of wrath. This is Revelation 16 verse 1. It says, then I heard a loud voice from the temple, and this is for anybody that got that, you know what, from and worship the beast and worship that big beast system, and accepting that form, you know, that grain of rice form for the digital ID. So it says, then I heard a loud voice from the temple saying, to the 7 angels to say, go and pour out on the earth the 7 bowls of Yahweh's wrath. It says, so the first angel poured out his bowl on the earth, and loathsome and malignant sores broke out on all those who had the mark of the beast and worshipped his image. And the second angel poured out his bowl into the sea, and it turned into blood like that of the dead, and every living thing in the sea died. That's that nuclear event. It says, and the third angel poured out his bowl into the rivers and springs of water, and they turned to blood. Meaning everything got radiated. Everything was radiated. Like Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua said, anybody that take the mark is going to be cursed, and they ain't going to have no rest. They not going they suffering is not going in, and they not going to have no, they torment is not going in. They're not going to be able to eat. They're not going to be able to sleep. They're not going to be able to ever stop running until they destroyed. It says, and I heard the angel of Yahweh of the water say, it says, righteous are you, Holy One, who is and who was, because you have brought these judgments, for they have spilled the blood of the saints and the prophets, and have given them, and you have given them blood to drink as they deserve. This is going to the white man and all that side with him, and all that managed to capture and kill some of the prophets in the process, and people that believe, and people that won't comply to the beast system, that grain of rice, that grain of rice. And it says, and I heard the altar reply, yes, Yahweh Almighty, true and just are your judgments. It says, then the fourth angel poured out his bowl on the sun, and it was given power to scorch people with fire, and the people were scorched by that intense heat. That's the nuclear event too. That's how bad them bombs are going to be. So it says, and they cursed the name of Yahweh, who had authority over these plagues, yet they did not repent and give him glory. That go for our people, the Israelites that still hated the Lord to the end, and they didn't care if they got the mark or not. They didn't care. All they cared about is for the suffering to come to an end, but it got worse. So it says, and the fifth angel poured out his bowl on the throne of the beast, and his kingdom was plunged into darkness. Right, that's the whole destruction of America, meaning that the sun and the moon will grow dark, coming upon the great and terrible day, because it's going to be horrible. So it says, and men began to gnaw their tongues in anguish, and curse Yahweh of heaven for their pains and their sores, yet they did not repent for their deeds. Right, they held on fast to whatever relief that they thought that they had, like, oh, it's not my fault, if you didn't make me poor, or you didn't put me in this lifestyle, and why would you create me if you were going to destroy me, and I did what I had to do for my family. All that don't matter. You still took that grain of rice. You still sided with this man. You still sided with his regime to be a slave forever, to worship these white people forever. You did all that. So Yahweh Shem Yahushua don't care what you had to sacrifice, because all you had to do was come to him for it, and he would have gave it to you. So it says, it says, yet they did not repent for their deeds, and the sixth angel poured out his bowl on the great river Euphrates, and its water was dried up to prepare the way for the king of the east, for Yahushua. And that has already happened. And I saw 3 unclean spirits that looked like frogs coming out of the mouths of the dragon, the beast and the false prophet. These are demonic spirits that perform signs and go out to all the kings of the earth to assemble them for battle for the great day of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua the Almighty. And I think one is the Vatican. I think another one is Britain, and then another one is I think America. I don't know. It's the 3 unclean frogs, but I think one is Britain, one is the Vatican, and I don't know the last one. I could be wrong, but it has to do with one of the 2 out of the 2 of them. I think I got right, and the other one I think I got wrong. Ooh, fly. It says, behold, I am coming like a thief. Blessed is the ones who remain awake and clothed, so that he will not go naked and let his shame be exposed. It says, and they assembled the kings in a place that is in Hebrew called Armageddon. That's World War III. It's that simple. Oh, these flies is cooking. Can't wait till the winter. You ain't gonna be seeing much of these flies. And it's gonna get, and if you read this, it gets worse. It gets worse. You think that the nuclear bomb was it was part of the end of it, but it just gets worse. Watch this. It says, the 7 bowls of wrath. Then the 7th angel poured out his bowl into the air, and a loud voice came from the throne in the temple saying, "It is done." And there were, this how bad the nuclear event is going to be. It says, and there were flashes of lightning, rumblings, pearls of thunder, and a great earthquake, the likes of which not occurred since men were upon the earth. So mighty was the great quake that the great city split into 3 parts, and the cities of the nations collapsed, meaning that it completely destroyed America, eviscerated America. It was that bad. You do not want to be here when this nuclear event happened. That's why I said, do not comply to the beast system. Do not worship the beast system. It says, the great city was split into 3 parts, and the cities of the nations collapsed. And Yahweh remembered Babylon the Great and gave her the cup of wine of the fury of his wrath. That it was the fullness. Then every island fled, and no mountain could be found, and great hailstones weighed almost 100 pounds rained down on them from above, and men cursed Yahweh Shema Shai for the plague of hell, because it was so horrendous. It was that bad. And like I said, for your average Christian, he gonna read and he gonna get it all wrong. And your average Christian is gonna read this way wrong. He gonna think that the dragon, the mouth coming from the mouths of the dragon, which are the different nations, and the white man got power over the beast, which is the system, and that false prophet, which is the Jesus Christ image, which is the white supremacy. And he's gonna get it all wrong. He gonna actually think that the average Christian is actually gonna think that that's an actual dragon, that's the actual beast, and then the false prophet is the devil. That's how they gonna read it. And then you got what the 3 demonic spirits that form signs and go out all the kings of the earth. Or no, it says three unclean spirits that look like frogs. Instead of them naming the places and the people, they gonna actually think that it's actual frogs. And it's funny because when I was a kid, when they had the Revelation mapped out on the picture, like artwork, they would actually interpret them, instead of their proper interpretations, they would interpret them as dragons. Locusts look like people with faces, and giant stingers, and scarves over their neck. Like, it was so confusing that your average Christian would actually think that was real. They would actually believe that they were some demonic animals and some demonic beings, when it's far much more worse. Even though that's pretty bad, I ain't gonna lie, that's pretty bad. But yeah, how about Shemiah Shai and like that? He's more realistic than anything. That bomb is the end all be all. Those bombs, like I said, what they say, 100 million missiles. Yeah, that don't sound good, man. It don't sound good at all. It says, then one, this is Revelation 7, chapter 1. It says, then one of the 7 angels with the 7 bowls came and said to me, come, I will show you the punishment of the great whore who sits on many waters. That is America. The kings of the earth were immoral with her, and those who dwell on the earth were intoxicated with her immorality. Yep. Because they can come here and they can do whatever they want. They can be whatever they want. So if you wanted to, if you were a man and you wanted to lay with men, you could. If you were a woman, you wanted to lay with women, you could. If you were into children that were below the age and that weren't able to be deflowered per se, and then some of them are into children, whether they girls or boys, you can do that here. You can. and you got people that will be able to kill people and get away with it. Yeah, you could do that too here, with the right judge and the right money and the court being rigged. You can get away with that. You know, a woman can have many men, can sleep in a bed with many men. You know, you can do that here too. You know that could be done too. You know, you could be a man, you could be a woman, you can be in between. You can even make a new gender if you wanted to. You know, you can do that here too. Certain laws and certain things that certain nations would keep. You know, like how women are not supposed to be sleeping with all these kind of men. When you come to America, you can be able to do whatever you want.